These disgraceful Colorado Supreme Court justices ought to be embarrassed by their ruling taking President Trump off the ballot in Colorado, not even allowing a write-in ballot campaign. So now the U.S. Supreme Court has to take all of this up. And I am telling President Trump, offering up this one piece of advice. This is what he needs to do right away. He needs to hold a rally in Colorado ASAP. I understand we're moving in to the Christmas weekend. I get it. Next week, go to Colorado, hold a massive rally, and call it the Make America Great Again, Make Colorado Great Again, in your face, Trump 2024 rally. Because that's what he needs to do. Troll the left like never before. Announce himself like the boss that he is, with all that he has to go in there and announce his presence with authority. This is President Trump last night.
Crooked Joe Biden and the far-left lunatics are desperate to stop us by any means necessary. They are willing to violate the U.S. Constitution at levels never seen before in order to win this election. Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. It's a threat.
Joe Biden is absolutely a threat to democracy, and here's how I know it. Simply from his reaction to this Colorado ruling. If Joe Biden was a legitimate American who supports and defends the Constitution, a legitimate president, he would say this ruling is out of line. I don't agree with it. But in fact, he doesn't. He sides with the radicals in his party, just as expected. This is Joe Biden.
Trump an insurrectionist, sir?
Well, I think certainly it's self-evident. You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection. And no question about it. None. Zero. And he seems to be doubling down on about everything. Anyway.
They're ridiculous talking points, this idea of an insurrection. They know it. No one's ever even been convicted of an insurrection. President Trump hasn't even been charged of one. So Joe Biden, who's supposedly the commander-in-chief, took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and literally the Colorado Supreme Court throws the Constitution in the trash. That's not democracy for you at all. This is Vivek Ramaswamy offering up advice for his fellow Republicans running for the presidency in Colorado.
Do you believe that this is wrong or not? If you believe that it's wrong, as I do, I think it's a bastardization of our Constitution. If you believe that there's an easy solution, I'm pragmatic. If every Republican effectively says they're not going to run on the Colorado GOP primary ballot with Democratic cabal of judges that are trying to nullify, then that takes Colorado out of the equation for who becomes the Republican nominee. If we want free and fair elections, let's each do our part to make it so.
It's a great idea. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek, Chris Christie, and even whoever else is left in the race. Take your names off of the ballot in Colorado. Stand firm with President Trump. Stand for America. Stand for freedom. Stand for the rule of law. Now, that all makes sense to me because I believe there's strength in numbers. But apparently the leftists look at that idea as presidential candidates on the Republican side standing firm in support of President Trump. Listen to how they describe it.
Why are you standing with Confederates who betrayed this country? And this is what they're standing with, is the spirit of those Confederates rather than the Americans who came together after a long and brutal civil war that was fought to keep the Union together and clearly saw a threat in ex-Confederates running for office.
Folks, I play that for you just to give you a little taste of their idiocy. They actually lie through their teeth. They know this has nothing to do with racism or the Confederacy or any of that. They know it wasn't an insurrection. They're just so triggered by President Trump and the support that he has. Support, by the way, that is growing because of this ruling out of Colorado. I predict the Supreme Court will rule 9-0 or at worst 8-1. Ketanji Brown Jackson, she's radical enough to side with these loons in Colorado, but it'll be overwhelming. The Supreme Court's going to side with President Trump on this one.